bottom line is, it's constrained to this small area where you can actually put it. What else can I show you? And the reason is kind of obvious, but if you put it here, closer here, then you have this problem with the shading. So you've got the angle of the thing, and it's dark, and if you put it a little bit further out, it's not dark. So the key is that it wouldn't be possible to do this project if I had to live within the 50 foot, because now I get into the constraint of being at the 100-foot line over here, and then all these trees will have to start coming down to be able to support that. And still, then the house becomes a problem. So it really doesn't mitigate the problem fully by taking out the trees.
Change from the house or that.
So about 2:30 in the afternoon, that in wintertime, this area is all covered with shade. And so went out and talked to the neighbor, and the neighbor signed the document that was given to you, which basically said one of these two is the original. But basically, it states that, yeah, it's okay to do that. In fact, he's thinking about putting a solar system on his side, and what has just turned out in the last couple of weeks is that the next house up is having a solar system put into it. So the whole...
On the ground or
On the ground.
versus on the roof?
Yeah, on the ground. So, all right, so, let's see if I did the right justification request.
You see a lot of them putting on the roof, so that's not practical or feasible
No,
option.
it's the wrong direction, is what it is, and it's too small a roof, because we've got peaks that go the wrong direction. So that turned out to be not a viable solution. So, variance challenges faced. Are there circumstances exists as relate to the soil condition shape project? So I would say that it's topography relative to wetlands as well as to the trees that are 20 and 30 foot tall, depending on which one we're talking about, would have to be an important problem. The hardship, well, basically I've got an electric house, and if I can't do something with the electric, I'm going to be in trouble. Substantial detriment to the public good. I have the people next door basically signing that they don't mind having it behind them, and there's no one else that can even see it. And desire relief granted. And I'm only asking for this one property line to be affected, really. So, I don't know what else to tell you.
Do we have any other responses from any of the abutters?
The other side, they're willing to sign off, but they don't see it, so they don't care. Because it is a hammerhead lot, it's behind this one house, and the next area is the gas company, and then the next area, they're putting in a solar system in their back.
So, just for the viewing public and the people in the audience here, the letter that Mr. Scudiere referred to as an October 27th letter, 2016, signed by Thomas Kittler.
Yes, sir.
And it factors in part of the application and documentation, but basically it says the owner, 176 Still River Road, John Scudiere, proposed installing a ground solar system on the north grass field of the property because of wetland boundary requirements greater than feet is greater than the space to place the solar system. The undersigned concur with the requested variance to enable Mr. Scudiere to install the subject solar systems.
Now, I certainly understand the 50 feet, but we're trying to make it so that the creative builders are not making all these buildings right on top of each other or making really steep things. But this is an open area that both of us treat as open area.
How much open area is on the other side from his boundary line to where his house is?
Okay.
You can see it on one of these photos.
So it's not very good.
Yeah, this whole area is, this whole area is.
It's actually, yeah, this one you can see it. This is where he's going to put the collector, but this is all open up and back. Yeah. See the four. Yeah. So you can see this is all wide open on his lot. So.
On the other parcels.
Right,
Yeah.
right. His collector's going to go right in here. Yeah.
Mhm. I was thinking, so this one goes, and someone else comes in, and if they had the property or a home
Yeah.
closer, where it's closer to their line,
Yeah.
then they'd say, gee, I don't necessarily want to see a solar panel,
Yes.
so right there, but that's
It's gotta be
my question, yeah.
a couple hundred feet from the house back there. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a somewhat unrelated question. Are you planning a fence around it?
No, sir, I'm not. There's no one that goes back there.
Okay, well, it is a public safety issue. Because that generates, line voltage. That's my only, it's something that the building inspector probably should address. But, if you touch those panels when they're outputting, you're gonna get a,
But no, the panels will not do that.
well, they're connected though, they have.
They are connected, you'd have to cut through the wires to get to it.
Oh, they will. Well,
But
that's
it's-
Yeah, I mean, just something I'm raising.
I will say that further up, 176 Stowe Road, going to Harvard, you have the two panels that are in that section that you get back there. It does have a fence, but it's not a closed fence, it's an open fence. That's just to keep the people that are walking through from getting to those. But the way that you're going to tie up the wires should make it so that unless you're trying to damage it, it would be very difficult to have an issue. But you're right.
Kids can do some stupid things, that's not,
They climb fences too.
that would be my concern, kids going in there and playing.
How far off of the setback are you going to be?
I'm going to be about 17 feet,
Okay,
and I'm going to be about 110 feet from the wetlands.
okay.
And that's possible because of the angle, it moves it away from the wetlands if I move
Yeah.
towards the east.
So you could only move about 10 feet the other way towards the wetlands, right?
Yes, that's right.
Right on wetland, then at that point.
So John, you're gonna be 17 feet from the property line, because your application actually says, I think, that you're 10 feet from the.
It turns out
property
that 17 feet is what the line actually was when we
Okay.
had it surveyed. Yeah.
I realize you're going through all this work. I just have to ask a
Go for it.
question. Wouldn't it have been easier just to go to conservation, get an order of conditions and build it within the 100-foot buffer? Then you didn't have to go through a board of appeals and all the expense and hassle to do that?
I was trying to comply with the wetlands, which I thought was a higher level.
No, it's not. It's really not. But, you can't build with, they wouldn't want you to build with it.
But it turns out-
But, yeah,
Practical terms, the slope goes down here.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
and
it's dropping
It's
off.
actually,
Oh,
you
okay.
tilt it in this direction, so
Yeah.
that makes this much higher as you go down further.
Okay.
All right, well, that makes sense, yeah.
Catch the sun.
So it also turns out that by moving back and it getting lower at the same time,
Mhm.
it also changes the angle so that
Yeah,
this area is more occluded.
okay. All right.
So the record is possibly some of that 6-foot difference is, it says it was 49 by 13, and now it's 43 by 13, so that's 6 foot.
No, I think that was just an error on my part. To look at the other data, I think it says 43, but,
Because the number of panels hasn't changed, right?
no, nothing's changed.
Yeah. How many panels are you proposing?
It's 4 up and 8 wide. It's 30. So it's 36. That's the answer, I think. I'm surprised by the other ones. It says 40. 43, 44.
You're gonna love it when you get it hooked up, I'll tell you. I haven't been on my house for the last, I think, 6 years.
Wow.
My electric bill, at the time I had, it's my wife and I, one of my daughters, 2 granddaughters, the electric dryer never shut off, and it was just like the lights never turned on. My electric bill went from over 200 a month to 30 bucks. And it was like, yeah, it's just great.
Concerns that I have a Danish home. Okay?
Yeah.
A Danish home has very thick insulation in the walls. There's a tremendous amount of glass that was built in 1980. So it is double pane, but that's about all I can say about it. Because of that, it's about $2,500 to more than that every year, and that's with burning wood.
So you have electric heat then
Yeah,
too?
it's like, yeah, that's-
Yeah, this is,
I'm surprised you don't have the whole field on there.
I may be back. Now that I know I can go less than 100 feet.
Even double pane glass is still a hole in the wall.
It is,
As a heat
yeah.
goes.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. So the idea is it'll just go straight out from the house, basically, connected to it.
Any questions? No? Any other questions on the board? So, motion to close the public portion of the hearing?
I'll make a motion that we close the discussion of the public hearing.
Okay. All in favor?
Fine.
Second first?
Second.
Second. Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so,
Would you like any of these things?
Fine, yeah.
Take whatever you want.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, good. That's different than you have.
so it's probably 17 feet, right, you said? To the adjacent property line. So I'll propose a motion on this one, that we accept the variance request to place the solar system within 17 feet of the adjacent property line, which we granting the variance for relief from the 50 feet setback.
You want to reference the drawing?
Yeah, we could, so we'll amend that motion to be in significant compliance or conformity with the plans and drawings in the package from exhibit 1 through exhibit 10, I guess it is, and the additional documentation provided with you.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. So all in favor of the motion to grant the variance, say aye?
Aye.
So passes.
Thank you so much, everyone. And I asked these gentlemen, I'll ask you also, do you know an electrician that, they're all smiling. This must be a common joke. I've got to put in a service-side tap for the system, and that's a little bit better than our family friend can do.
I actually do know a good electrician that, I don't know if he knows how to
Wonderful.
do that, but I can pass his name along. You know,
That'd be great.
That I actually got from our building inspector, so.
That's great.
All right, well, thank you.
The house next door was something we looked at. Oh, yeah? 30 or so. Yeah, I have them on. My house,
He should be.
I built my house in '79, and when it originally was built, it was heated with solar, with water, source solar. It worked good for about 12 years, and I started getting leaks everywhere. I took them off. So the roof was already set up for it. And I have to put them on the roof of my house, and my garage has it on it too. So I have 28 collectives on it between the two buildings.
Permits all through.
Really made a big difference.
that'd be reasonable?
I think it'd be reasonable.
And now my daughter and my two granddaughters have moved on to their own house. So my electric bill for, it was October, was like.
Thank you, gentlemen.
$8 or something. Basically, I paid the minimum fee, that was it. I haven't got to the point where they're paying me every month, that's my goal.
So in similar fashion, I'll write up the draft decision, have you guys review it, and then Gerard, you don't have any.
Does that work for them?
Yep, that's fine.
Are you around within the next week or two?
Wait.
Okay, you're not going on vacation or anything, okay.
I'll be gone the evening of the 9th, but I'll be here up until,
Oh.
and then after that. so-
Okay. Yeah, we just need to get it to the town clerk in 14 days.
Mhm, yep. Okay, so our second order of business tonight is to discuss, do we have to wait till 7:30 if there's no one?
You know, I think we should, just because I believe Jim Gately is coming, and we did ask what
Oh,
time.
good, okay, because I saw him.
Yeah, and I
one of the
told him
documents said he may
7:30.
not be here, so I figured.
He
okay.
emailed me today asking, so I
Okay.
assume he's gonna be here.
So I'm gonna wait.
Can we skip to the
Yeah.
mission statement then?
Definitely.
Yeah, sure. Let's take the mission. Let's take one. So we have an administrative matter to come up with a zoning board of appeals mission statement, so Eric was kind enough to. craft
This is
one.
already in existence, or is this?
No, I just basically took the language from our bylaw that talks about your powers essentially, and I just made it a mission statement.
Or lack
so-
thereof. So what, every board has to do this now?
Yeah, yeah, best practice approach. Good government.
So I looked at it and just made a couple instructions. So I read it, so that, yeah.
Would you add some columns?
No, I said, I added to, is respond to impartially here and decide, on the zoning matters, so that, from a mission point, we don't play favoritism.
Sure.
We uphold the bylaws and impartial on every case, so. But thereafter, it's all open.
Sounds like an exciting job.
Yeah, I know. It reminds me of when I worked for the federal government, there should be one more line in other duties as assigned. Anything I want to
You guys go on,
get. All other duties as assigned.
Well, we do have sort of rapid, act on any special appeals under the code that provided, so it's.
It was basically, it's the-
So, one to do that, right, but I don't know how creative.
Seems fine to me.
It's fine, yeah, that's good to me, good.
All right, good.
And so,
I will get
So
that
what's
along.
it have-
And then if we could just approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. that would be great.
They gotta work and solar panels in the air or not.
I just worry about being in the yard like that, with, so if there's kids and stuff around, there's, baseball smashes one,
Right.
Yeah,
You said
that's
something
my
about
concern. I don't know who's the building inspector, I would think would be, I'm gonna look at that. I mean, it's a public safety issue.
Yeah, I mean, I know mine, because the ones in the garage, they're wired all down through the garage, and then there's a cable that comes across that goes into the house. You think I was attached to a high-tension line with all of the, red things, do not touch voltage, shut this off, do this, do that? I mean, I don't know how much I'm not an electrician by any means, I don't know how much juice is going through the big thing.
It's got to push back enough against the incoming to move it out the door. So, yeah, it's up there, line voltage levels.
Yeah,
And you get plenty of current there, so yeah, it's a safety hazard if it gets exposed.
yeah.
So,
I mean, it's all, they put everything all in steel conduit and everything, so that, you know, there's no way you're gonna punch a nail through it or anything.
it depends on who installs it, how it's done, and, you know, I assume they're gonna require electrical.
Oh, yeah.
Some kind of a permit, I would think, wiring permit or something.
Yeah, with
So-
mine, actually, what they required we had to do is have the whole wiring system in both buildings inspected
Right.
by the wiring inspector before they would even do any work on the site.
Sure.
And, you know, I had one or two outlets that the neutral was reversed on, and we had to get that fixed, so
Yeah.
they wouldn't touch anything until it was done, so.
Nope.
They were pretty thorough, I thought.
I would think there would be requirements about like put up a swimming pool or something.
Yeah, you have to fence it, so-
Fence around, or even just a general nuisance, or you want to prevent it.
I know I raised the issue down at Davis's, and they did fence that supposedly, I haven't been down there.
Yeah, it is
They're-
fenced,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're fenced.
I mean,
They're massive though.
Yeah, that's
Their system's
You
massive.
were here for that. Were you in that meeting?
the last meeting. I was
no,
not
you
here.
weren't.
Were you here?
Yeah, I was.
Did you sign it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that page, okay, that page.
Yeah, you drive in and look at that thing, that is huge.
It's pretty impressive,
Yeah.
yeah. Just a
Well,
couple of
and that's
other,
on Still River, the guy's name, but, it was involved. Theirs is right on the driveway next to the old barn.
Oh, yeah.
They put a fence around, but I didn't know if that was required, or if that's just, good practice, you know.
I don't know if they require it to be done that way, or they just do it for their own reason, yeah.
I know for like building permits, we don't require a fence around
They're
it.
not, okay.
No, not for a building permit,
Yeah.
so that.
I mean, it's really a homeowner's risk. I mean, as Brad said, if it's public safety, you don't want someone to get hurt, but if someone were to, it's on his property, so, I mean, it's,
Yeah, it's an attractive nuisance, so,
yeah, right.
so, anyway.
Just a couple of other administrative items. Today, Marco Hagan from Craftsman Village, development on Trigger Road, he submitted the draft condo docs, and in the comprehensive permit, it does state that it should be reviewed by town council, so I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to get your input. Is that something that you want me to have town council take a look at? Okay. And he'll likely be coming to the next meeting. He has insubstantial change he'd like to make, so, but that'll
So
be the,
thanks, right?
that'll be the next
Don't make
meeting.
me sweat.
Has he sold anything down there yet, or?
He's just starting to put them on market.
Oh, he is,
So
huh?
he's had some interest, I guess. And then the other item, we received the town, an appeal was submitted, an appeal to a building permit, so that's gonna be coming to you guys probably in January. I'll be sending out an email to coordinate schedule. That'll be the first, I think. That's, I don't know, have you guys ever had to handle an appeal before?
On a building permit?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did one a couple of years ago. Well, ones were, actually, no, it wasn't a regular building permit. It was I'm confused. It had to do with a property line. Also, they wanted to build a porch on the front of the house, that was all, but it wasn't really a building permit issue.
Right.
Yeah. This is an appeal to a regular building permit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's unusual.
So, do you think that you're gonna want town council here for that? In case you guys have any legal questions, or, I was gonna mention it.
We have a
John.
pre-package that we can look at.
Oh, yeah, oh,
I mean, and so that
definitely.
we
Yeah,
can-
I will send it all with
Right.
the email, I just haven't done it yet.
Because maybe we can.
At that point. then.
Individually
Yeah.
can
Yeah, take a look
respond,
at it.
if
Yeah.
anyone thinks rather than as a group respond, but if everyone individually responds, yeah, we think, I think, or you think,
Okay.
then we can have time to
Okay.
get it, but, without knowing what it is, if it's.
You don't know if the person who filed it, if they appeal it to the state building inspector first.
They did not,
They did
they've
not.
only appealed it to the town.
So the building inspector denied a permit.
No, he issued a permit, and now that is being.
Okay, so.
Oh, I see.
So someone else is.
Oh, I'm looking at it from the wrong, I thought
I was
it was.
thinking the same way,
Yeah.
so, that someone, he denied a permit.
Yeah, it's actually a neighbor to the property, to the owner of a property that received the building permit.
Oh, okay.
Nailed it.
It makes more sense. Okay.
Do they believe it violates a bylaw?
They do.
Okay.
They think that the use isn't allowed within that district, so.
Is this on corner of Burnham Road?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Now it all makes sense.
What's happening with our new gas station?
Nothing, that kind of died, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah? Wow.
Yeah.
And there was never any appeal on that lot on the Stowe line, the insufficient frontage?
So I thought that that's what was going to come down.
Yeah.
Oh, for the Teal Road?
Teal Road.
Yeah, no, nothing ever came of that one.
He's in arguing with the Stowe Conservation Commission.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's been going on for 24
Oh, yeah,
years.
yeah, so this is nothing new, yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, so should we give then a couple more minutes, or?
It's up to you.
Let's start.
We're 5 minutes over now.
Might as well, let's start with ours. I mean, we have them always timely. So let's just, so the business that we have to hold it is, on our agenda as a zone board of appeals to consider releasing the remaining bond of $15,000 associated with the Sunset Ridge property. So we held a site visit on November 11th to determine whether the applicant had completed the items listed in an email sent by Beach Engineering to the town and the applicant dated September 20, 2016. It's attached here in a letter from Steve Ventresca, who's a professional engineer for Beach Engineering, to Erica on November 11th. His conclusion is that notes the applicant completed the items listed in the September 20th. It says 2106 dated, but it's 2016 email, except for the clearing of catch basins. Beach Engineering understands that the applicant and town planner are in discussions on whether the catch basin cleanings are required. So Beach Engineering recommends funds be held in escrow be released to the applicant pending any agreement reached between the applicant and town planner on the catch basins. So that is sort of where it seems to stand.
Yeah, so it sounds like Stephen has essentially signed off that the remaining of the site items that we discussed at our last meeting have been completed. There is the question of the catch basin cleanings, whether or not it's required. I did look at the comprehensive permit, and in your packet, you'll see that I highlighted what I thought was a condition in that permit that essentially relieved him from having to do it at this point, because the condo has been handed over to the condo association. Oh, here's Ben.
The aforementioned Mr. Vin Gately.
Oh,
Hi, Vin. So we just sort of read through Stephen Tresca's final letter on November 11th, indicating the recommendation of release the escrow pending any reach about the catch basin. So that's where we are at this moment in the hearing.
Okay.
So it sounds like from the documents that are in the material that any catch basin work really should be done by the homeowner decision, is that the belief?
That's my opinion in reading the comprehensive permit. I saw that condition, and the way that it reads, it sounds like at this point, because the condo association is in place, they've been cleaning the catch basins in the past, at this point, I feel, or I believe that Vin is no longer obligated to do that. They plow the roads, they handle the maintenance on that.
I would think Vin would concur with that.
Yeah, after Erica pointed that out, I went back and read the decision, and I saw that same language in there, and it looks to me like it is the responsibility of the homeowners, and I guess I look at my responsibility as to comply with the decision, and nothing beyond that, and I think I've complied with it.
Right.
And I think, Steve's letter basically says that everything has been done. I did a few extra things while we were there the last, I think, 3 visits. And I guess in my mind, we're complete now.
So
Done.
complete with the exception of, it sounds like the financial.
The cost certification, yes, that's right.
So I see in the documentation that you were comfortable, that's not the right characterization, of if there's 15,000 to be released, but if we held back some until the cost certification is final, that would be...
That's fair.
Fair with you.
What I would recommend, just to make it easier, because you guys don't meet all the time, I would just vote to release the bond amount contingent on the town receiving that cost certification. And then that way, once I receive it, I can just release the whole amount rather than having to come back to you guys to release a small amount of whatever we hold back. It just makes it cleaner, I think, personally.
Works for me.
Yeah.
So no problem with saying, having to release at 10 now and then 5 contingent on the final thing, or does it matter to you, or how does that work?
I suppose I would like to get 10 now and 5 later, once that's been turned in. But
Does that work for anyone, or is that the problem?
actually, 5 is the number of the cost for the certification. I don't know, I think I gave Erica the contact information for the accounting firm in Stowe that's doing it. And I know their fee was $5,000. I think I gave them a $2,500 retainer, but if you want to just, withhold the 5 pending completion of that, yeah, I think that's fair.
So that will work? Does that work?
Yeah.
Same mechanics, so we'll
Sure, that's
we'll
fine.
authorize the release of 10, and without having to have another meeting, the release of the remaining 5
Sure.
upon, your acceptance that you go, what was required.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we need to vote then, or?
Well, I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
Stan Persky. I'd like to know how it was determined that the stormwater system was completed.
I'm taking on faith of Ridge Engineering recommends that the permit application has been completed and the project's been completed. I can't answer that question other than that.
There are a number of other things in the decision, and one of them was that a plan be submitted to you for stormwater maintenance and management. NECMA.
Sure.
What the stormwater system consists of is these items.
So this is a document from the...
That's the applicant's maintenance, and it includes the pavement and the permit. So here's some pictures from July. For the condition of the road. Lack of curbing. So I would question whether that would be a completed system. I'll also show you from October what's been happening to the road with the lack of curbing, the washout, polluting the catch basins into the system, requiring additional cleaning. That's fairly clear that they're not complete and in accordance with the document. Well, some additional decision minutes, statements.
And what is this document here? Exhibit 1? Is it your exhibit 1?
That's part of the decision.
So I've been to the topic of stormwater management system. That's not my strength, I'll have to admit.
Yeah, and it's not mine either, and I could have a hard time responding to something that is, these pictures that are being shown here for the first time tonight, but I think that's why we have the consulting engineer, and we defer to them to make decisions on whether we have complied with the decision and all of the necessary things have been completed. And I think we've been through that more than once. I think Steve Ventresca's been up here 3 times. And I believe all the correspondence says that I am complete. So I guess I don't have any further comments other than that, because these are just coming up tonight.
I know we walked up, I was part of the walk that they did. Nothing stood out to me as being, eroded or, I mean.
Well, this goes back to, from when he claims to have turned it over in June to when the road was paved in May. In 7/14, he was asked to clean it, sweep the roads, clean the catch basins, and produce receipts. It's not what exists now, it's what existed at the time of the letter. We've been 2.5 years trying to get this thing done.
I'm sitting here biting my tongue, and Erica knows why. I think we're not approaching this the right way.
Well, so the point was, so we're trying to address a concern of the homeowner, but I know the point is that the homeowners
Association should be the people. We
Well,
can't-
if they're, have a,
And I fully-
could say something.
Right, and I fully understand your position, Stan. The problem is that if we go and talk individually to everybody that's up there, somebody comes in, they complain about their driveway and they want it regraded, we go back and we have him do it, and we do the work, and then the homeowners association comes back and says, you can't do that, then we're in a bind. We can't.
I'm
we
only
can't
going by
function.
what decisions say.
I know.
It has nothing to do with the homeowners association, because at the point it wasn't ours, but.
But what I'm saying, Stan, what I'm saying is that we, as a board, should not be dealing directly with you as a homeowner. We're supposed to deal with the homeowners association, who are, quote, the owners of the property, even though you're one of them. But you should be on their case to get their butt down here and complain about it if you don't think it's right.
Well, I don't think it's right. I'm a taxpayer. I live there.
understand that.
And the way this was left at our meeting on the site, the applicant agreed to clean them or pay for them in spring, and he was to contact the association. Correct?
And I also said that I would read the comprehensive
Yeah,
permit.
and I guess that's my feeling at this point is, the agreement says that he's not responsible to pay for it.
Well, in Erica's opinion, correct?
Well, it's
Yeah,
It's not-
that's
it's not a
my opinion,
statement.
but the board also has an opinion, so.
my,
if they-
my opinion is Erica's right. It says right in the verbiage.
Well, you need to read the entire verbiage to get it. There was also supposed to be a full budget maintenance and contract presented to you before the road was turned over and approved by the board. It's in the following portion of the paragraph.
Again, I think that's something that the condo association should have come to me and said, look, this hasn't been
Right.
posted, why hasn't been posted? I mean, it's been years now, and
And it's,
condo association has never reached out to me on anything.
it's been on the list of things to be done, correct? You know, it's semantics as to who comes here and presents it.
No, it's not. It's a legal issue. It's not semantics. I've built a couple of condos. I've been through this with lawyers in courts. You don't want to do what you're doing because you can get yourself in an extremely bad situation. We've gone up and looked at all the issues that you presented. I didn't know at the time when I was out and I walked it with you. I thought you were a representative of the condo association, and you're not.
It was
We
clear-
never should have been there meeting with
It
you.
was clearly stated the first time I came to this board, when you asked me about the association, was not here, that I was not part of it.
No, I either wasn't there or I missed it. I didn't know that, because if I had known that, I would have made it an issue
I
before
clearly
we
would have
went.
wasted all my time. I would have brought the association here with me. But how you can construe that that was complete at that point in time,
So regardless of the point in time, for me, the most recent point in time is the November 11th walk where we went out and walked through, and again, the professional engineers, I'm not a professional engineer, professional engineer that the town has hired to sort of gatekeep this project concluded that it is complete. But for this one item, that yes, if there's opinion, which I give credence to Erica's opinion because of her expertise, that if in fact that there's belief that it is in the homeowners association responsibility for the catch basins to be cleaned now, then it's not the applicant's responsibility, then that's where I, for me personally, on the board, that's where I sort of take and say the project's complete. And I guess then there's the homeowners, of course, if they think something's materially wrong, to then contact Vin Gailey, but for the purpose of closing out the escrow piece here, we should proceed with what we've spoken about tonight, is material release to 10K and let the until the cost certification is provided. So, anybody else have anything different?
I like town council's opinion on that. That I don't count as a property owner.
You can get your own council's opinion on that. I mean, I don't know, again.
It's very simple, you can ask the association to ask town council, that's all. They're the property owner, that's what we have to deal with.
This is the third meeting I've been to with the board. How many discussions have I had with you, Erica?
Over email, quite a few.
And so now you're telling me I'm wasting my time?
No, we haven't been wasting your time because there's been action happening, but it's, people have looked at it, we've had the engineers go back and look at it on your behalf, and as well as the people, so it's not, hasn't been wasted time, but.
Well, I'd like to see the money held since it was partially agreed.
We have agreed to hold some money back, whether it's to pay for a certification or whatever, but for now, you know, again, based on the technical advice we've been given from our peer review engineers.
I think we have to deal with the legal entity that owns the property. I mean, I understand you have complaints, but the way to do it is through them, not.
Okay, so who would you want here as a legal entity?
The condo association.
Whoever the trustees are, they're the ones that, those are the legal entity. They're the ones that make the decisions. And I know the problem is, like with most condo trustees, they probably don't do anything. Or they don't do it.
But, you know, okay.
So, is there any change as far as what we want to go for a process as far as the escrow? Or continue with the plan to release the 10 and then have 5 subject to final certification?
I think we just go
That,
with that. Yeah, that's fine.
all right, so,
I mean, unless there's representation from the condo association, I don't see what choice we have at this point.
yeah, we can keep it open. I mean, it's been years. It's, there's been a lot of movement on it. Things have been happening, things have been done. So it hasn't been a full wasted time, so.
And the only reason I could see to hold anything off would be for a public safety concern, and from the walk that we did on November 11th, I didn't see any public safety
No, I
concerns.
thought it was.
No, I went up there by myself on a different date, and I didn't see any issues.
So,
I looked over what,
and that's important to me because you guys have been so involved in the town planning, the whole
I mean,
variety.
there are issues between the developer and some residents, but if the condo association is their representative, so.
And at this point, the catch basins have been cleaned by the condo association. It's not like they're overflowing with sediment at this point. They, right, Stan? The condo association has been in the past cleaning the catch basins, correct?
Well, to my knowledge, I don't represent the condo association.
That's okay.
Well,
So it's your belief that it has occurred, so.
that was my understanding.
Okay. So where it's a hearing, is business item, should we do a motion on that?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so I'll propose a motion to we released 10,000 of the 15,000 remaining in escrow to the app, and then hold 5K back pending final certification, receive certification, financial certification, and that can be released upon Erica's approval that she's received the documentation. Second one? Is that good?
I'll second.
Second, okay.
Can I ask a question? If there is some sort of appeal of this decision, does this happen right away, or is there, just like any other meeting, there's an appeal?
This is
We vote to
not
release
a-
it's released.
This isn't a decision, this is just a vote to release money. They-
Right, but I mean, we say it now, I mean, is it 5 minutes later, the money's gone?
Yeah, so next week, what I would do is I would write a letter to his bank, and I would,
Okay, so it's not like some other
Not like
decision
14
where
days.
people have an appeal period?
no, nope.
That's, I just wanted clarification.
So can Jack second that?
Yes. I'll second it.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Have a nice night.
Likewise, enjoy the holiday season.
What's that?
Enjoy the holiday season.
Yeah, I will. Okay, thanks again.
So, motion to close the hearing at 8:54, 8:56? 54.
54?
54, 7:54, sorry.
What do you guys get a second?
Yeah. Right, so, motion to close.
Right.
Aye. Close it.
We'll have a short meeting.
Yeah.